Morning, everyone. So a little bit late leaving the last meeting. Talking about too much important stuff, I'm afraid, like the World Cup. I mean, a bit carried away there. Okay, anyway, morning, guys. Nice to have you here, Mark. Just wait a minute. Just past. We can get started now. Yeah, saw things can come up. Just remind me tomorrow. I must change over from platform trading to trading room. I forgot to do that and put a thing in. Oh, anyway, we get rushed coming across here because, like I say, we're discussing important stuff like World Cup and Saudi Arabia's win. So it took a bit of time. No, I'm just being honest. We got a little bit late getting away. Sorry about that. Okay. So, right, hope that everything's set up. You can hear me okay. Yeah, just want to say that Ashley is last, I think it was mentioned yesterday, was his last TR with us. He's moving on to open a business of his own of sorts. So I shall be doing it going forward. Sorry about that, guys. Be stuck with me going forward until we find somebody who can, be like Ashley did, so we can take it in turns. It'll come, but I think definitely not till into the new year at some stage. So yeah, I'll be doing it daily now. So yeah, as per normal, any new guys in there? So most of the guys I recognize the name, but just in case I miss somebody who's fairly new, don't forget this is a trading room, not a training room, which basically means we do look for trades. We can't find it. We go over clarification of anything you're not sure about. But it's not for me to train you up on what a lot size is or what a Bollinger Band is. Those are for the classes. If you haven't bought a class or you haven't got that kind of knowledge, well, I suggest you go and buy the knowledge somewhere. And if you get it free, well, good luck. Or you can Google it, extensive, or read books. That's your choice. But it's not for me to give free training here when a lot of guys pay good money on it. And the point, they come in here having done the training and now want to look for trades and discuss strategies, etc. But I can certainly help very much so with all the practical aspects that once you've got the theory, we can use. Because as I say, anybody who's studied anything will find a lot of the stuff you study, most of it you don't use practically. When you go into commercial world, this is very similar. So you need to get the background knowledge, get it all, and then you form your own strategy, what you're comfortable with, what you're comfortable with your charts, you can read them, understand a bit of background areas on the economic calendar, which I normally will print for you on the live chat, so you can keep an eye on it. But it is vital to understand this is a forum. This is not a class. It's not something you sit back and hope it all downloads into your head. If you're not sure, you've got to interact and ask. If you don't, so I'm a bit shy. It might be a silly question. And then you miss something that's important and it costs you buckaroos. You can't blame us, you didn't ask, and you might have got the stompy or the wrong end of the stick or whatever, and went long instead of short, or your volume size, or whatever. You must make sure you've got, when I say something, you understand we're all on the same page. Okay, so we interact on that. Some Marius interacts, Gerard does, Mike, Sean, some familiar names there. Mark, etc. Ones I get to know a bit more, I tend to tease and they tease me, you know what I mean? And that's all good stuff. It means they're regulars, they understand. But you guys, don't be shy. Please join in. It's vital you do that. I'm fine, Brendan. I'm fine, not too bad. Yeah. I kicked myself out early this morning, went for decent power walks that put me in a good mood. Not so much it did me good physically, which I think it did, but I couldn't dodge it, so I feel better about myself. I thought, I can't be bothered, and I went and did it, so I'm feeling rather pleased with myself. So thanks for asking. Okay, so if anything you're not sure of what I said, I have a habit of speaking quite quickly. I do beg your pardon. But just basically always say, employ common sense. If you have a question, ask it. You can unmute yourself and chat about it if it needs a bit more verbal interaction, or placed on the chat line. If I miss some of the chat line, yeah, we laugh, we learn, and we read. It's brilliant. I couldn't put it better than that, I'm sure. You can print on the chat line, But most of all, don't think just sit there and then it will be downloaded. A lot of people think, now I've been to the class, that's it. No, you've got to interact, pick it up. Have a pen and paper handy. Not sure, you want me to ask you something or show you something, then you want to write it down. So I'd have to repeat and hold up the class because you couldn't remember and you didn't write it down. So keep it handy and get professional on it. Okay, before I go into stuff I want to talk about in this session, I want to start off with the S&P 500. It's the trade idea. I need your help, guys, to try and get some trade ideas out today. We've had quite a few on my group WhatsApp the last couple of days, and most of them seem to be doing okay. Not all, you never get 100% hit rate, you know that. But sometimes you're going to get a hell of a lot coming out and sometimes really quiet. And I personally, apart from the S&P 500 as a short, I couldn't really find anything much. But if you guys come up with it, great. And if it's okay by everybody, we'll get it out to the guys who are not attending, but because they're busy or whatever, but happen to be on the group WhatsApp. Okay, right. Okay, we'll start S&P 500. The dollar index has come off. I just want to copy and paste that for you all, if those who haven't got it. Obviously, don't got it. So we're all on the same page. I'm going to mute you guys a minute. I'll background bracket there. Just give me a second. Yeah, please mute yourself if you're not interacting. The background noise can put us all off. But then if you want to say something, please do, as long as it's obviously relevant, and then I'll unmute you all. Okay. Okay, right, where are we? Yeah, I know the DXY has fallen off a bit. I've printed the link there. Please, if you haven't got it, copy, save it in your browser. You need to refer to it. It's very, very important. You need to know what the dollar's doing. If you're trading, you've got to know what's happening in the USA. You're getting blind otherwise. It's nice to know what's happening in South Africa and Ghana and Saudi Arabia and Qatar at the moment. It's great fun, but we need to know what's going on in the USA. Because that's really where it's at, okay, to use an American expression. All right, so S&P 500 come to 4,000 around figure. We've got the interest rates coming up again next month, almost certainly be 0.5 or 0.75. Now, can't say guaranteed, but almost certain will be an interest rate hike. Whether it's 5, 50 or 75 basis is the big question, which we'll see what Powell comes up with. Bottom line, we still have massive debt out there. So I think any rally should be looked as a shorting opportunity. Been saying that like a stuck record for a while, and I'm still sticking with that strategy going forward. So it's got a bit of resistance here on the S&P. Why not the NAS? Why not the Dow? Very good reason. All three I see downside, but I want to make sure that guys understand: do not touch the Dow or the NASDAQ unless you've got a reasonable balance. What do I mean by reasonable balance? I say 4 to 5, but I'm be up front. I think 5 grand for the NAS and probably 8 grand upwards for the Dow. They are volatile. You need very wide stops, so you've got a very high risk profile. You don't want to go 0.01 on the Dow with a 500 rand risk on a 2,000 account. That's 25% of your account if it goes wrong. And just basically bear that in mind, guys. If a few $100 or 1,000 or something, you cannot look at that. You can if you like, and you might get lucky. You do what you like, it's your money, but I'm suggesting you don't, because on opening at 4:30, even if you're going right, it can knock you out in jumps and then fly down, or worse, it margin calls you. Not worse for you, but worse for us, because then you start coming on the live chat. Why did I knocked out? Didn't my stop? What are you on? Went scamming and all that. And because they haven't got enough knowledge or expertise to understand their margin call, because they went in too volatile, expensive instrument with not enough capital. And that seems to be a problem with the human being, is they want to get the big business going without the capital, and unfortunately can come back and bite. Okay, so I'm not saying you have to put more money in. I'm just saying remember the limitations. If you don't expect the same results of a surgeon for a doctor or a nurse. It's different skill sets that take more time to get. That's why there's a difference disparity in pay. It should be common sense, but mostly we're clouded in the fact we want the equality without being totally equal, I'm afraid, in skills and finance. That will not come about. Okay, hope that makes sense. Right, where were we? Yeah, so S&P 500, I'm going to put the risk calculator up for you. Should all be set up, I hope. So we don't have to fiddle around too much with it. Now what? Here we are. Is set up? Yes, it is. There we are. So sell around about the £4 mark. Go in market slightly better. Remember, if I put out on the WhatsApp, sell or buy at around or better. Or better means a better price. That means to buy or sell stock. You're saying, right, I want to buy at a worse price or sell at a worse price. So if you're getting a better price, so if it says sell around 4,000, it's above 4,000, you want to sell it short, it's a better price. You want to go in at market because you're getting a better price. See to create some problems with people. You see a lot of buy and sell stocks coming in. It's like saying, I want to buy a house, I don't know, Clinton, I want to buy a house, Clinton, for $1 million. And Clinton says, no, I've got an offer for 950. So, okay, Clinton, I'll wait till it goes back to $1 million before I buy it off you. You're not going to do that. You say, well, what a pleasure. I'll buy it 950K. You get the idea. So, or better means better. Obviously, selling short a higher price, or if you're going long, a lower price. So you just understand those guys are on the WhatsApp. Okay, so it's been sent out, slightly better price by a couple of pips, 1 pip actually, but still is better. So there we are. Anyone like it? Sorry, 004, that's no good. He's been assassinated, so it's 007, so we're going to do 001. The last guy left worked for the British Secret Service, 001. 170, why this? Because 170 is affordable for most of our clients. This is the NAS, we're looking at about 300, 400 or 700 on the Dow. So I have no problem, guys, if you got time to look at the Dow and NAS, same sort of principle, but please, guys, don't go anything to 2 or 3 grand in your account. It will be a problem. Thinking is vital, which majority short on the planet do not do. That's why there's so many perennial problems. I can say the biggest problem throughout human history, Sean, is the average human being doesn't think. They're played, they're led by other people who play them for their own needs, not your own. And because we don't think, we tend to fall for it. And unfortunately, the result of it will create wars and hassle and heartbreak for everybody, mostly ourselves. Absolutely. It should be taught from grade 1 at school. But unfortunately, it's not a common thing thinking. That's unfortunate, Jethro. I hate to say it, my friend. That's 100% absolute. Easy enough, easier to play. You don't want to have a bunch of free-thinking people who are sophisticated, particularly thinking people. And then they're very much more difficult to play. For question. Yeah, absolutely. Social media is a great part of that. Just you go through social media and it just plays the basic set the non-thinker. That's another story. Don't get yourself into trouble, but I hope you know what I mean. You've got to have someone to take the buy and sell, Sean. You've got to have counterparty. That's why we don't have 100% knowledge. Otherwise, you don't have a market. You've got to have counterparty. Sean thinks a long and Roger thinks a sell makes the market work. If everyone thinks a buy or a sell, nobody's going to buy or sell. Who's going to be counterparty to buy it off you or sell it to you? You've got to have that. Absolutely. Morning, Kuda. Secondly, will say, how are you? So I want to join the group. We're commuting with you now. Anyway, oh yeah, okay, yeah. I mentioned, yeah. Before we go to the group, I just want to discuss that. Anybody like it? I've sent it out to the guys anyway, but I've got it written down here for that reason. But anybody want to short at these levels? Or anyone want to long it? Anyone might buy it? We've had that before. We're going to buy and sell down here. Creates interest then. I do. Can I see a Dow and the Nasdaq? I see short. We'll look at it in a moment, but I want to make it completely clear, guys with small accounts. It's up to you. You can do it if you like, but if it bounces on opening 400 pips, knocks you out through a margin call, and then goes in your right direction, you're going to be highly cheesed off. You want to long it and sell that, okay? Okay, but before we go into long, anybody want to do the short on this one? I need 2 people. I'll have it for the TR short, and then we'll look at the long. Okay, we're happy on that, Pierre. Oh, hi, great stuff. Good to have you there, Pierre. Yeah. Right, I've got that down. That's me. Also TR, me, because put it up there. That's right. Now, who wants to go for the long? Because we're going to change this around completely now. Right, we put the stop. We're going to put the stop probably down here. 3924. Make it around figure 39. If you guys want a long, it's up to you, so you can change these around. Where do you want to put the TP? You can't put it there, so put it maybe 4-1 here. There we are, 4-1. Now, that's not going to work, is it? 4-2. There we are. So let's get this out of the way if anyone likes the long. Okay, that's about right. Hey, a bit of luck there. Round figure and coinciding. Right, there we are. Let's put this up again for you. Anyone keen on the long on this one? Well, that's not quite knowledgeable. Flag pattern on an increased order book. I like it. When in doubt, blinded with science, I always say. But I'm slightly joking there. I want you guys, especially newer guys, not to start getting frightened of jargon and mystique. You can go to algorithms as much as you like, and bring the size of Einstein much as you like, but it's not necessary. Keep it simple, stupid. That's not a bad idea. I say again, sorry guys, it is a what you call it, a forum. I want people to ask it like any. Great. Why would you want to buy it? They might come up with something that we've missed. I've had that before. Oh my goodness. I will back down. Sod my ego. I was wrong. That's a good idea. I didn't look at the weekly or the hourly or whatever. I missed that damn good point. And that subject, no, that was the weekly. There's the weekly for you. Resistance there. 4. So as he mentioned, he thinks he's expecting some more dollar weakness. Remember, if we get some more dollar weakness involved here, what's that doing there? That's better. More dollar weakness and maybe some yield weakness, we're going to get some upward of the shares, which means the indices. And obviously, that's what Kuda say. He's expecting that occurring. And he could well be right. I personally would stick to my guns on this one. I'm not swayed by that, but I value that opinion. Yeah, I hate saying Kuda, but I didn't see an enormous movement of the dollar. It's come back to 107. About 108 to 107 pullback at great, but it's not horrendous. It's a reasonable amount. I'll give you that. It's not like 114 down to 119, which we had when the CPI came out a couple of days ago, when it really came off. That's a different ballgame. I'm just having a smell of hawkishness tonight. The economic fundamental. Just check on mine. I printed it for you guys. Opened the copy and saved it. 9 o'clock, I think it is. Yeah, 9 o'clock our time. FOMC minutes might just chit chat and say we're confirming our hawkish stance, which might put a fear of God back to 75 instead of 50 basis points. Then you'll see it come off. If it starts saying that, looking like we can start easing off 50 max, maybe a little bit less, then this thing will go up. Get the point. I'm not looking at the 1 minute trades. Come on now. Yeah, I'll give you a lot of indecision, had a bounce, and it's found a bit of a headway here. So that's a fair enough, Kuda. Anyone want to join Kuda on the long? I'll put it down if we have 2 or more people joining Kuda on the long. Let's wait a few moments while you think whether you want to join him or not. If you do, I'll put it down. But don't say it just to be different or contrary. You've got to generally put money on it. You want to go for the long. As long as you have money on it, just to be different, not doesn't cut it or your demo. Okay, we've got Anne-Marie supporting on the long. Anybody else want to support on the long? I'll write it down. Okay, but 2 want to go long. Let's put this down. Just give me a second. I'll put it as Kuda's idea. See who's right. I like these because it has a bit of fun here. Get different opinions. It helps people to think, hey, Sean. We'll put it down at 4,000. Put the same as 4,000. Again, your favor already. What was it? I think it was 3.9 and 4.2. Put it back up again for you guys. And you're winning at the moment, Kudu. See how long that lasts. But anyway. Just give me a chip now. Excuse me a second, guys. There we are. So if you want to go along, there's your figures. Remember, it's got to take out the downtrending 200. So yeah, good luck. Mars is on the long as well. So get a bit of support there. Right, see how that goes. You all got that? Those who want to go along, there's the figures. See how it goes. You all got the figures, right? Let's knock this off. Right, okay. What was I going to mention now? Economic calendar. Just want to bring that up for you. Just give me a second. Right. Japan's a holiday today, Workers' Day. I like the Workers' Day, going on holidays, which is a contradiction in terms, but I know what you mean. New Zealand, with the highest interest rate in their history, went up by 75 basis points. It's now 4.25. Had a bit of a jump on the New Zealand dollar as a result. Whether it's sustained or not, another story. And had a jump. Euro at 10:30, German manufacturing PMIs coming out. GBP, composite PMI, manufacturing PMI, services PMI, all coming out at 11:30 on the pound. US dollar, building permits, 3 o'clock, beg your pardon, 3 o'clock building permits, durable goods, 3:30. Initial jobless claims are today. Remember, they're normally on Thursday. Today, remember that, today. So as just get these guys in, sorry. Yeah, that's today. So at 3 o'clock, 3:30 today, initial jobless claims, because remember it's Thanksgiving tomorrow. So the states will be closed tomorrow, and on Fridays they'll be closing early. So you'll get all the guys a nice little hangover coming in just to keep it open, and then they're knocking off at lunchtime, a bit like a Christmas Eve in the market. So it'll be pretty slow on Friday as well. So today's your last action, and then the action will come back in the States on Monday. Remember that, and very important as well. They're all very important, but very important as well. FOMC, Federal Open Market Committee meeting, minutes of it. So just to whether they're going to reinforce the hawkish or whatever stance they're taking. So there's quite a few coming in today, and a quiet couple of days on the economic calendar front, Monday, Tuesday, and probably fairly quiet going into the rest of the week. So today's the day of economic fundamentals. I've copied it and pasted on the chat line. So come on, guys, copy and paste it yourself. Keep an eye on it. You don't be jumping into something when the fund is coming out in 5-10 minutes or so, and then you get taken by surprise. Okay, just bear that in mind. Okay. Morning, Zeph. Yeah, for those just joined, just want to mention, those who yesterday would know that Ashley's leaving. So whether you like it or not, my friends, you're stuck with me. I just want to point out to any new guys there, you have an account manager. The account manager is what's called the intermediary part of the financial intermediary advisory services, FAIS. Okay, sorry, got the right way around. Sorry, financial advisory intermediary services. Wrong way around. Sorry, FAIS. Okay. They can help you out with accounts and admin stuff and whatever, but they're not allowed to advise. You have to be regulated with the FSCA, FSCA, the what you call it, Financial Service Conduct Authority. All these mouthfuls, okay? Are regulated and represented with them before you're allowed to give advice, etc. So if you need any advice on trading, well, you're stuck with me. There it is, simple as that. got nowhere else to go. So just bear that in mind. So now you know that. Yeah, I'm sorry to say, yes, he's leaving. We had his good farewell do on the weekend. He's going into a business of his own. I don't know all the details, but anyway, he's doing that. So until I get someone to partner me, should we say, it's got to be regulated and got certain exams to press to do and the rest of it, which hopefully is going to be in the early new year, because going 5 days a week can be quite exhausting. Plus, you probably get exhausted with me by then. But yeah, so I'll be doing it daily up till that point. His last day today, that's correct, but I'm talking about the training room here. He will be available tomorrow, and that's it. But I think it's only half day. So bottom line is, yeah, there we are. So that's it. Okay. So if I suddenly see the participants jumping, flying down to 30, I'll know because Ashley's left. So I'm going to get very hurt by that. Thank you, Kuda. I was fishing a little bit for a bit of support there. Feeling a bit lonely here. Thank you, Kuda. Yeah, we have indeed. We've got to have the qualifications, my friend. But the other, that's a bad part. The worst part of it is that money is lousy. It's terrible. As one guy said, to quote Muhammad Ali, I like your style, I like your show. I like your show and I like your style. But you pay so bad, I won't be back for a while. So yeah, yeah, just kidding. Okay, anyway, so there we go. S&P, we got it, move on. It's up a little bit for the long guys. Let's see how it works out. All right. Those old enough to remember the great Muhammad Ali, greatest sports of all time, in my opinion. But there we are. So it's exploited by the Muslim Brotherhood, but forced him to fight because of the money, and then until he became, as you know, Parkinson's a lot. So, you know, anyway, that's another story. We'll move on. Okay, right. What did I want to mention? Oh, yeah, that's right. Just want to mention volumes. It's a continual problem we're having is people just don't seem to do the basic arithmetic on volumes. So I want to spend, if you have a trade idea, 100% numero sodding out uno. Put it up, I stop, we look at it, because we need to get trades, a trading room. And if they're good enough, we'll agree, I'll put it out there for the guys who are not with the trading room, who are on the group WhatsApp of mine, so they can participate as well. That's number one. So until I see that, right, now I'm talking about the gold. Yeah, I'm a bit worried about the gold as well, actually. Got it out as a short, and I think you might have a point there. We got it at 1745 on the gold. It came down nicely, about $10. I hope some guys took profit there. I'm going to be honest, I did. I took mine out of there around about the 38 mark. I'm getting a bit worried about it. With a weaker dollar coming in at the moment, which is not helping my S&P pulls, is it? There could be another attack of 1750. However, do I think you should be now? I'm going long on it. If you're a scalper, maybe get 1750. I'm be nervous about that. And to get a stop, which I normally like about $20, depending, you got to look at least $30 up movement. Will it get back to 1780? With the FOMC coming up tonight, interest rates looking at in December coming up, unless a bomb goes off somewhere, I think it's asking a bit much. I personally am a bit nervous in my short and gold. Well, that's why I'm afraid I got out. I took my couple of bucks and ran. So yeah, I'm a bit nervous of it, to be upfront with you guys, but I'm not sure I'll buy or sell at the moment. I personally, this is just me, guys. It's up to you now. I would leave this alone. Okay, good for you, Henny. I nearly sent it out to take profit on the WhatsApp group. Although it's only about $5, $6 in profit. That's pushing it a bit. Maybe more if I didn't. But I'm hoping the guys on the group now are learning to make their own decisions, not totally relying on somebody else. Teach them to fish, not just for themselves, not just to get someone to fish for them, to misquote badly the parable. So bottom line is, I would be leaving it. Anyone want to buy or sell it? We can listen. They've got opinions. Zeph might come up with that. We can in a moment. Yeah, it could do. You could, if you want to buy a pullback, you want to go long, I would agree. I think we could have a bit of a noise and From at 1750, to be honest. I think probably more pleasing is to leave it for the moment. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it could well be a long the lower price. It seems to be holding around about the 1733 mark. So some guys took a bit of profit there. Thank goodness for that. It's in a bit of a resistance here. But yeah, anyone want to go long or short? I'm staying away. Anyone want to go long or short on this one? Go on, let's go long. Anyone want to go long on this one? We'll come to you in a minute, Zeph. Anyone want to go long on this one? If we do, I'll put those figures. I need a couple to say. I'm staying out so long. Mark. Fundies, yep, I hear you on the shore, and I'm going along with that as well. Okay, so anyone want to join Gomon and Long on this one? We'll put the figures up and look into it. I'm sure he's intelligent enough to do his own figures. Nobody supports. You'll wait, yeah. Anybody want to do along on this one? If you do, I'll put the calculator up with pleasure. Yeah, all agreed. Wait. Okay, well, anyone wants to do along, do your own figures. Don't get a lot of support for it. Leave it alone seems LIA to new guys. LI means leave it alone. Okay, that's fine. Right, GB, what was that? What now? GBP USD. LIA, yeah. Good. Okay. GBP USD. NGAS are doing okay. Hey, fella, we've been there about 2 months, and I think the paint is pretty bloody dry by now. I haven't watched it, but it's doing okay. NGAS. I think that's going to roll down. It was like 760 or something. 780 now. Remember, we got that 615 about 6-7 weeks ago. I can't remember now. And those are still in. Who've got enough money to let it run. Would be smiling, eh? Done all right then. So yeah, it's a bit late now. We can put up for TR winner. Okay, doing very nicely. Obviously, those are still in it can move their stop accordingly to wherever they want to move it to, because then they can, protect their profits, they say. Right. Okay. What do you want to do with this one, Zeph? I think, what was it? Just take 2 seconds, Zeph, on that one. What was the TP on it? Can't remember, actually. Just can't remember. I think it's probably around about here. Or was it a bit higher? Was it up here somewhere? I can't remember. It's still a bit colder winter. It might have further upside. I mean, modify your stop. Put your TP up there if you like. Doesn't really matter. Modify your stop. It runs further. You're all right. If it doesn't stop, see how they made a bucket. It's still in it. I'm not sure I'll be joining it now. Okay, GBP USD. Hope that's all clear. Could well be. Could well be. I do, but I'm not for a trade. I just see modify your stop if you're in. Ride it for further upside. Could well happen. Might get a bit of profit taking these levels. I wouldn't join it now. Okay, GBP USD. Right, what do you want to do with the GBP USD, Zeph? I want to leave it alone, by the way, but I'll come to it in a moment. Anyone want to do anything with this? AUD USD, I'll just write that down. I think we're in the trade on that one, but never mind, we can always enter another one. Write it down. You bought it, okay? Right, Zeph, you got the floor. What do you want to do with this one? I think it was your idea. I'll unmute you in case you want to chat. So, if you want to chat, you can. Go on, guys. What do you want to do with it? Ask for the trade. What do you want to do? To the 200. That's 1,000 pips away. So you're going to have a stop down here somewhere, I suppose. Maybe down here. See, that's in the weekly. Sorry, my mistake. Beg your pardon. That was a bit ridiculous. That's more like it. Okay. We got the risk reward, 270 odd rand on my phone. Anyone like this one? For the record, I don't. There's no such thing as a safe trading for your Kazi in derivatives. No such thing. This is high risk, high reward. This is leverage trading. Speculatory. This is. It's not investment. Speculatory. No such thing. It's an error probability. You don't get high rewards if you have safety. It's a contradiction in terms. The record, not keen. No, I'm not keen on that. I don't think the dollar's going to be that weak to push the pound up there. Having said that, on the fundamental front, Jeremy Hunt is going for a full-on hawkish stance on inflation there. But whether that economy is good enough, remember, the UK might have an empire 100 years ago, but doesn't now. And although it's not an irrelevant economy, it's only about number 6, 7 in the world. It's jumped to number 6 or 7 now. Remember, India's now bigger, China's certainly bigger, Japan's bigger, obviously the US, and Germany. I'm not sure about France. I think France, UK, pretty similar, sometimes one slightly bigger than the other. So, and you got the Eurozone. Don't forget, if you look at the Eurozone, mention Germany as an entity in itself, obviously is bigger as well. So, the effect on the hawkish stance won't affect the world quite like the dollar will. And the safe haven, the dollar, is a far bigger deal than obviously the UK. And they've still got a lot of problems there, apart from inflation. So I'm not sure you're going to see an extremely weak dollar to manufacture it right up there. Well, I say right up there, it's not that far, but it could go to 1.2, but 1.21, I think you might be pushing it, like personally speaking, but that's just my take. As a short, I want a bit more confidence now of a bit of a strength creeping in, which might happen late tonight, going into tomorrow. But I'm looking more to get a confirmation for downside. I think the pound's overcooked at the moment. I think the dollar's undercooked, so I'm waiting for confirmation for downside. That's my take, but that I could be wrong. As I say, I've been wrong a lot of times. Yeah, for the GBP, if it starts moving up above these guys, I'll look at the DXY and see what happens, etc. I might think, oh God, I'm wrong. Maybe look for a buy there, a stop down in TP up there. I don't know. But I'm waiting for the FOMC and the durable goods and stuff like that. I'll probably look at it again tomorrow. I ain't touching it now, to be honest. But anyway, who wants to go along on this one? Zeph's going along on it. Anyone to join Zeph and along on this one? Just write the Swissy down for you. 1 second. Right. You want to go along? Oh, shame. All right. That was a quick bit of a whistle stop. Anyway, hope to get you at either 4 o'clock or tomorrow, Jeff. Anyway, so we've got one person said to like do it. I see upside more that I'd rather, if I'm going to go for the dollar, I'd rather go the yen. We've got to trade out that anyway. So we'll have a look at that in a minute. Just before I do that, I'm going to do your guys first. Wait on this one. Clinton's away. Okay, that's fine. Kath, I'm losing all these chats, which I want you to do, but I don't want to miss anybody. So Divan wants to go for a long. Anyone? You're going to give it a shot, Zeph? I'll go for long. Kim's going to go for long. I only found out Kim was a lady yesterday. Hey, Kim. I thought it was a guy. I don't know why she think Kim. Let Sam could be Samantha or Samuel. You know what I mean? Do beg your pardon. The dollar's falling, so yeah, it could come right. So you're going to go for the long. Right. Those are the figures. If you want to do the long, if you want to do it, so I'm going to write it down. And I put a Zeph trade. One 1.1888, 1.18 all the eights, 1.1741, 1.2180. Okay, I've got that written down. Zeph trade. See how that goes. Okay. Not the pivot point. Everyone knows what he means by a pivot point. go through that some stage. We've got a quiet moment in the trading room to explain everyone the pivot point. It's short-term support, resistance, and get it off in investing.com, all done for you. So you don't have to even work it out yourself. I think it's start to get a little exhaustion, to be honest. It's getting a little bit near exhaustion. It's 26th September. It was at these figures here, and it's gone up there for 1,700 pips. I think it's a bit of exhaustion. Might ease its way up or down, but I think it's near exhaustion. Okay, so we'll see how that goes. If you've all got it down and wants to do it, fine. If not, obviously, well, no good. Right, so go on to the next one now. I've got around AUD USD. Get this out of the way. We all got a sell out on that. As a matter of fact, that's a few days old now. Now, that looks like those aren't in it might get a better opportunity. Oh, sorry, sell. What? I'm assuming a sell. Beg your pardon. You might want to buy. We've got a sell out already on the AUD CHF. I'll put it down, which was doing okay. I think maybe some people take a profit. I'll write it down as well. Look at it anyway. Pleasure. Right. Okay. Sorry, I made the assumption to sell. We had that out as a sell already on the WhatsApp group. Came down, popped up again on the weaker dollar. So it was nice in profit. I think a lot of guys might have taken it. If they hadn't taken it, still in. Haven't reached the stop loss yet. It's about 67. Seem to be holding today anyway on the 10-day moving average. It's in the neutral zone, as you can all see, between the 50 and 200-day moving average. We almost have those two. 200 simple, 50-day simple, and then save. Quickly to show you. Right click, go to template, save your template. Don't forget to do that, so you know every problem in the future. If you like the 10-day, that's the maroon one, you can put it on. Right, it's in the neutral zone. There's a sell zone here, buy zone there, neutral there. Can't get simpler than that. Okay, it's a good filter and support resistance. As Zeph said, take it up on the previous ones, the 200-day, acts as support resistance, and gives you an indication of some sort of over sideways or downtrend or whatever. Aussie, out of the two antipodes currencies, Aussie, New Zealand, they have big ties with China, and China got a few problems with COVID and other areas. So Aussie is a fairly weakish one. And so even though the dollar's weakened a bit, I'm not sure that'll be sustained. I personally rather look for the short, but if you want to look for the long, we'll look at it absolutely. I'm glad you did. Good. So what do you want to do with this one? Anyone want to short it from here? I'm not totally against that. I think the dollar's going to bounce back up again and retain 107. I'll put it up and see what you guys think of it. If you're not in. If you are in, please don't double up. Just hold. It's a bit far, that, so I'll stick with this one here. 67.60. And the TP we can put down here. 6,489. Yeah, you get your risk reward if you want to take that one. Keller likes it. Vuokazi likes it. I like that name, Vuokazi. Put a syncs onto it. Zulu name, hey. Took profit. Do you want to enter again, anyone? There you are. I should quite like it, yeah. They've got two supporters, so to hell with you not to support me. To hell with you. Got two. Great. So if those want to do it, you can do it. There we are. 66.57. Okay, good enough.
Oh shit.
Yeah, hopefully. It's gonna, sorry, I'm mutual. Sometimes having some problems in the background there. Okay, huge guys team. Okay, hope it works out. Good. All right, there we go. There we go. Goodies, goodies, goodies enough. Right, okay. What was the next one on the list? Is AUD. Oh, sorry, USD CHF. Just get this out of the way. USD Swiss franc. Right. Okay. In the sell zone, Swissy, as we all know, is a fairly strong currency. It's the one area I was worried about when it comes to dollar to buy or sell, because the other one on the other side of the fence is pretty strong as well. The dollar's a bit of the weaker two clearly at the moment, no surprise there. Do you think it's going to continue weak to sell down from there? It's gone up to a bit of resistance there. Do you see some more downside? I've got my opinion on this, but I think I'm just going to hold it back a minute to see what you guys think. I forgot who actually asked for it. If you'd like to take it from there, see what anybody likes to do with this one. Buy it or sell it. You want to buy it, Philip? Okay. Anyone else? Anyone want to sell it or buy it? Go on, Philip, to buy it, or anyone to check, disagree and want to sell it? No, it doesn't mean anything. All that means, Henny, is obviously the country itself trades their currency more than a lot of others. So if you're a yen trader, you often get a bit more volatility on the yen when Japan opens, like you would the Aussie dollar, the Kiwi dollar, US dollar, the pound, euro, whatever. But no, there's a lot of guys there will be trading anyway. This might have a slight less volatility, but don't worry about Japan at the moment, it's irrelevant. They're all asleep. What's it got Japan now? It's about 7, 8 hours. It was 7 hours, 8 hours. What is it? About 5, 6. They're knocking off now anyway. So don't worry about Japan. Ignore it. Okay. Right. Okay. I'm not getting any feedback on this. Okay, so I'll give my opinion. I'm not going for it. It is in the sell zone, but I'm not sure this dollar is going to continue with its weakness. I happen to like the Swiss franc as well, so I'm a little bit nervous of buying it. Technically speaking, it's still below the, or hang around the 10-day. It's still in the sell zone from some resultant dollar weakness, simply because that CPI funding of a couple of weeks ago. I'm not sure that's going to be maintained. There's a lot of fundamentals coming up, including 9 o'clock tonight, we mentioned. And then if I'm going to start buying and selling the dollar, I'm rather looking to maybe buying it against a weaker currency. So I'm buying it, I'm expecting more Swiss strength, weakness. At the 2-minute ifs and buts for me to go for this one. So I personally will be leaving you alone. That's my take. Okay, I'm totally with you on that, Kazi. Okay, so we'll move on. Leave it. Unless somebody wants to come back to, we'll leave it. AUD CHF. Wow, yeah. Got GBP JPY written down. Don't worry. Okay, what we got up here? AUD CHF. Well, you can clearly see it sell zone. Sell the rally is the name of the game. I think that's fairly obvious on first look at the chart there. Having said that, Swiss I mentioned strong, Aussie fairly weak, so we're happy with all those areas. My only worry with this, we're just not getting something follow through. We've had the trade idea a couple of times, we've modified stock, so the guys have just made profit on it, but it hasn't hit TP. At least made some bucks. That's the main thing, and that's why I can't do it again. But you see, every time it goes up, it gets defended. You see the wicks all there going back to about a month ago, just under a month ago. So clearly, sell the rally is the name of the game. I don't much doubt on that. My worry is look at yesterday's candle, much follow through, and look at the follow through here. Soon it came down. This is only what 10 hours old. The buyers came in. Look at that wick or shadow. The buyers come in again. We're not getting the follow through. It's just hovering, and it's not even a dollar. It's Aussie or Swiss franc. So they can't use that as an excuse for a fundamental point of view. I see the vision, as Fika says. I see the vision, but those wicks scare me. That's quite sure. Those wicks scare me. It's a bit of resistance support at the moment, whichever way you're looking at it. I just think if there's a bit better fish to fry at the moment. Okay, so we'll leave that for the moment. All right. I think most guys are out in the original trade idea, modified, take the profit, whatever. But overall, I'd rather be short than long, put it that way. If you're still in it, I'll hold it. But I'm not sure I'm going to be shorting it from here because just to see a lack of follow through. I might look at it more favorably near this sort of area here. But yeah, okay. Look at the 4 hour. See what I mean? It's just not getting going. Weekly, not getting going. Look at that, not getting going. Hour, I don't know how it's going to tell me. Not a lot. Scalper might want to short, I don't leave it alone. Okay, give me anxiety as well. GBP JPY, I looked at that this morning for a buy actually. For some reason I didn't find it was a good one for what reason why I saw it. Agricola, yeah. Yeah, I'd rather be up than long. It's just not getting going. Look at yesterday's candle. Look at today's candle. I looked at this morning. That's why I didn't bring it up in the strategy room this morning with the guys, because it just it's not happening. Look at those candles. Does that speak a Ferrari or paint dry? That's the question. To me, that's paint dry, ain't Ferrari. You see my point? Not very economic jargon there, but this just doesn't seem to be happening. That's why I thought I'll leave this one. One of those days, we had to see a dozen or so in the last couple of days on the my group. Get a quiet day, put S&P out, see how that goes, whether it goes right or not. But it's looking a bit quiet for the moment. Might get some more action at 4 o'clock. It's camping there. I like it. It's camping. It's camping at the pivot. Kim's exhausted. I'm bored with it. I think I'd rather be exhausted than bored. I think it's just boring at the moment. I just think personally the pound is a bit exhaustion there, and the Japanese yen is weakish, but it's just hovering. Yeah, I'll be a bit quieter because the American market is so powerful. Certainly on opening, it's going to be quiet. We won't see much happening on the NAS tomorrow. On opening, it won't be jumping around. It'll be closed. Well, it won't be closed. It'll be open. The world trades the Nasdaq on the futures, but the big boys coming at +4 on the NAS obviously won't be there. Okay, fair comment, Sean. So yeah, I think that a miss. Euro dollar, I want to sell that, but not right now. I want to sell it, but not right now. There's a bit of resistance there. I'm not confident enough in that dollar yet. It's popping its head back up again to 107, but it's still hovering. I look at it more favorably under 200 at the moment. I'm just going to stand aside. We had a trade out there on my group a few days ago. Can't remember when, and it did very well. Most people have taken their profit. Now they're looking to want to re-enter. It's a natural thing to do. Made bucks on it last time. Let's do it again. I think just a bit of discipline here. Hold 5 at the moment and see if you can get a better price. If you miss it, well, we'll find other opportunities. We've been finding quite a few. So don't have to panic, they'll come along. Okay, hope that makes sense. Don't panic on it. Obviously will come along. I think rather just sit tight on this one. Fund is quite right. Yeah, Sean coming up. I think you do yourself, it's too risky in my opinion to make sure the reward is worthwhile. Always risk, we've got with some reward. I think the reward's justifying the risk going in now. Rather leave it. Okay, so that's sorted out. Go back a couple of our CFD trades. We had this pretty damn slow, but it's going in the right direction. It's growing. 174, somewhere around about that. It isn't profit, but look at those indecision. So at least it's in profit. Bubba, we've got in at 80, so that's doing okay. Might have a bit of noise here. Depending on what the Nasdaq does on opening. I hope it's going to break through. Obviously, I do. That's a trader dare of mine, but at least it's in profit. You can't, if you want to modify your stock, don't forget you can't. If it's a share, you cannot do squat till the market opens up by 4. So not much you can do about it now. So there it is. Okay, at least it's in profit. Coca-Cola, I think it's down, it's up a bit, which means it's down because we shorted it. We might come right to Coca-Cola. Look at the short there. Why do you look at shorts? Was it short? No, just some good. I think it was overcooked the resistance. Sort of reason anyway. So it's a bit overcooked. It's in the neutral zone, or is it? No, it's in the buy zone. Shit, why not short it? Oh well. Anyway, that's right because of the oil overcooked. I think it was a Fibonacci pushed me in that direction. Not even a fib. I wonder why that was. Yeah, I think the major reason I thought so was a bit overcooked at this level, and a few sells are coming in on the yesterday. So I think we might get some pullback there. Then we got your stop in. Okay, Netflix has said to the guys on the group, modify your stop to 283. You made about a $10 more profit per share. Okay, so that was a nice one. And some guys have stopped at 283. That's fair enough. I wouldn't be entering it again now. That ship sailed. If it breaks down here, we'll look at it again. Here's one we should have actually modified the TP, and that was Tesla. It hit the TP at 180. We should have modified the TP, actually. We forgot. So busy modifying stop loss. What about the TP? Then you'd really be smiling. It's dropped $10 below our TP. Well, don't join it now, clearly. Oxy was Occidental Oil. I thought a bit of upward movement of oil. I thought it was pretty close yesterday to these levels here. I thought some upside, and that came about. So Occidental is doing pretty well. See what it does on opening. Don't forget, modify your stops. Got a lot to do. I can't always remind you. If I can find a moment, I will paste it or post it rather on my WhatsApp. But it's not for me to do that. It's up to you to remember to modify your stop to protect. That's doing nicely. It's about 69, I think, somewhere around about there. The entry, $3 a share. It's just nice. It's doing okay. So not doing too badly. The F stop, the other one. F stop starting to come right. I think downside is the name of the game. In it, hold on. If you're in profit, hold it. If you're not in profit, hold it. It's not moved enough yet on opening at this stage anyway to modify, but I think we can get some more movement down there. So that's the shares covered. We can look in more detail later on this afternoon. The other trades are quite extensive. They seem to be doing okay. Most guys have either taken profit, modified stop loss, or smiling. The only one was hovering a little bit was the US dollar, Japanese yen. It's hovering a bit, but it's in profit. 141.20 was the entry. A bit early to move stops. Says, yep, at least it's in profit. It's hovering a little bit. CHF JPY was a nice one. I think everyone moved their stop and now nicely in profit, whatever happens, including myself. Okay. So you should be doing just fine on that one. CAD JPY was giving me, it's awesome to do. I've always done well with it, and it's always given me jips, the yin and the yang. But it came off a bit, got fed up, now it's doing nicely, and it's in profit. And yeah, so not shooting the lights out. It depends when you enter. A little bit earlier, put your stop up now to entry, but at least it's showing some profit. Could get a bit of jip with this resistance, but anyway, at least it's doing okay. So you're happy with that here? Well, so you get some more downside. Good. So yeah, that's them seem being too bad. So most are doing okay. Right. Okay, fair enough then. Now, I want to spend a few moments discussing volumes and the difference between shares. We're getting a lot of people, I have to be honest, a lot of people don't trading without bothering to read their SMC stuff or come to trading rooms or go to any classes. And as a result, they're trading really blind. No, shut up, no. Leave the CAD JPY, it's right in resistance. Buy a pullback, don't join it now, no. And I've got to say this, you cannot, I'll give you an example. Nobody is getting me, and Mark's left, forget about that. But you'll laugh at this. Nobody's going to make me the chairman of the board of the ID department anytime soon. Nobody's going to do that. It's not my strength. Now, unfortunately, if you want to do that, you've got to have mathematical, arithmetical numeracy. You've got to have that. You've got to be literate in that area. If you cannot do the basics of that understanding, you're not going to make it in this game. I'm not talking maths, I'm talking basic percentages, the basic, basic maths, basic stuff. And it's worrying me, the amount of people are just not getting this. It really does, because it is basic stuff. They're going, I'm going to go back to Ford, and a classic, hey, Clinton, you'll back me up on this. He's one of the presenters, so that's what I'm referring to him. They're going in with fractionals, 0.01. Clearly, their mindset, like driving on the left-hand side of the road instead of the right, like in USA, it's stuck on 0.01. And then we had one person complain because the price of Ford was moving, but the price, the profit loss wasn't, because they were going at 0.01. That's so infinitesimally small on a share that even though the price hadn't moved enough to shift it by 1 cent, she didn't understand that. To mean the mathematical knowledge. And when I post, I try to point them out clearly. Look at it. It's $2 per 1.0, not $2 or 24, 30 rand or whatever it is, but 0.01 per 1.0. One is diddly squat in shares. One is horrendously large in Forex. I beg of you, those who joined the trading room, newish, I know the older guys know this, new guys, please get that differential. Now, 14, you're going to put a stop in here. We're going to sell it, right? The market's open, for example, you're going to sell it right now. Put the stop here. That is 67 cents per 1.00 risk. Right, what's 67 cents in rands? 10 times that 670, half again is 4. It's about 15 rand. So 15 rand, if you sold short now, with the stop right, put it 15 rand per 1.0. So you're 0.01 and it hits your TP, you're lucky if you make 2 bloody cents, maybe 20 cents a rand or 2 cents American if you're lucky. So clearly you'll be looking to say, right, what is it per share? I'm going to say it's 50 rand a share. Your owner is 300, so you're going to go 20 shares or 40 shares, or whatever the math is. You get the idea. So please do the math on the signal. If the signal says sell at 14.05 or better, and you see it when you open up, it's 14.10, for goodness sake, don't put a sell stop in. That's crazy. You go in at market because you're getting a better price. Now we're going to buy this. We're going to buy it here and TP there, so whatever. And if you open up, buy at 14.05 and the price is 13.98, it's a better price going at market. Please read the signal. Or, right, you want to sell it and it's 30 and it's 14. Do the maths. It might be worth chasing. Do the maths. Now you will open up and it's down here at 1360. Clearly that ship has sailed. Please, guys, read the signal, do the maths. Is it better? What a pleasure. If it's worse, is it just slightly worse? It might be worth chasing. If it's a lot worse, you can put a sell or buy limit in and hope it comes back. You get the idea. Now on US dollars yen, now that's different. That's a Forex. It's not a share. So now you go back to 0.01s or whatever it happens to be. Now we don't want guys who've got 10, 15 grand in their account. It says 80 rand per 0.01 and they're going 0.01. What? Why would you want to risk 80 rand a 10 grand account? You know what I'm saying? So you say, right, I've got 10 grand. What do I want to risk? I want to risk 600 bucks. 80 to 600 gives just under 7. 7 eighths of 56. You go 0.07. Is this complicated? Or they go 0.01 every single time, or 0.1 and everything. Now you've got to stop it at $10. Should we use $10 a micro, or $5 a micro, $7 a micro, or $12 a micro, and it's the same position size? No, you get the point. I'm getting frustrated here because it's basic arithmetic. You've got a calculator now, and look at the signal and use a bit of common sense. Okay, because people are losing out overwhelmingly, not because the signals are wrong, it's because they're just not doing the basics. Read the signal and it's simple. This is not, if you want to start going into stuff I had to do for these exams, different ball game. Now we're getting into a different kind of mathematical setup there. Then I get it. But this is the stuff you learn when you go to school the age of 8 or 9. We don't want guys, adults, going in with a matric education and not looking at that signal and doing the basic arithmetic. Okay. I'm actually against this. I know most people like it, including yourself, but just for not for the guys who know the score, but frustrated the guys who don't. It's creating us hassles. They're going in with 0.01 on because they think it's a Forex. It's clearly not. Even though I say this is a share, not Forex. And they'll go in and then they kick up because it hits TP and then makes 3 rand. You know what I mean? Or then they go from shares to Forex and wonder why, and they've got 2 grand in their account, and they're putting 1.0 to buy limit, and it's triggered, and why they're not in. because you've got position size too big. Go to CFD classes, go to your forex classes, know those basic differences. You don't want to start driving the car and then change gear where the brake is. Well, that'll kill you. This won't. It'll knock you financially. And it's simple to overcome. This is not complicated. When you start going down the line, then it is complicated. This part isn't. I'm stressing it. Please, guys, I beg of you, get the difference and read the signal. Okay. Right. Next thing is, depends what you can afford. Don't suddenly start borrowing money to do this. This is high risk, high return. But don't have expectations. If you've got a runabout 20 grand car, expect to compete with a top of the range Ferrari. No, you can't, obviously. So you've got $1 grand in your account, you're trying to compete with the guy who's got 50. Of course you can't. You understand percentages. The pros say that when you know what you're doing, you should consistently make about 4% a month. You might make 30 this month, you might lose 2% next month, I don't know. But the pros say about 5% a month, that's 50% per year. Right. So you want to make 10 grand a month. Well, 10 grand a month is 120,000 rand a year. That's 50% of 240. So you want 10 grand a month and you know what you're doing, you're a pro, and you want to be consistent. I know last month you made 40%. We're talking about consistency. You need about 250,000. So guys, don't think like one guy on our CRM put 200 and he wants to make 10 grand a month. In fact, it doesn't irritate me. It doesn't upset me, it annoys me, because that is blatantly, I'll be honest with you, stupid. It's just blatantly stupid. I mean, if that was the case, I mean, no, a moment's thought, so that's going to be out of the question. Rather put your money and buy a lottery ticket, because that's about the likelihood of that happening. Okay, so think, please. Okay, so these guys coming in don't know the basic percentages and expecting, without a clue what's going on, as the galley boy, in the same as the capital ship in 5 minutes. No, it's not going to happen, please. 1% a day is 200% a year. That's a fantastic return. That's a fantastic return. What? Remember, you get 4, 5, 6% and you put in the bank a year. 1% a day is 200% a year, plus minus 200 trading days a year. That's a fantastic return. You don't need to work on percentages. You got 10 grand. What's 1% of 10 grand? 100 rand. So you make 100 on a 10 grand. That's 1%. That's a fantastic return. If you make 50 rand in a day, that's 50% a year. So that's 100% a year. That's still a good return. 25 rand is 50% a year on 10 grand account. And guys with 2 grand want to make a couple hundred rand a day because they're not thinking. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not trying to spoil the dream. It's trying to get, because they're getting in time, they're not getting frustrated because they're expecting the Ferrari, their car to do the same as a Formula One machine. Of course they can't. Common sense. It has to be done with percentages. Someone says, is that expensive or cheap at 100 rand? It's a meaningless comment. It's a brand new house. It's a catch to it. It's so cheap. It's a box of matches. It's incredibly expensive. It's like you say, 15 rand a share. That's cheap. No, it's not cheap. It's a small figure. I agree on that. It's not cheap. It could be worth 10 rand. It's going at 15. It's expensive. It's a 10,000 rand a share, but its value should be 15 instead of 10,000. That's a cheap share. The figure alone is meaningless without the backing of it. So you've got to work with percentages. If you don't, you live in cuckoo land. If you can't work with, I've seen guys, I've told this before, in the micro lenders queuing up, poor, uninformed, uneducated people going to micro lenders, and it clearly says that 15% a month, 15% per month was the interest they had to pay. They're so clueless percentage-wise, they're going and borrowing poor buggers about 400 or 500 rand, and then find they can never pay the sum back because the interest rate was so colossal. But it meant nothing to them. And that's how the ignorant get caught. Unfortunately, you've got to have some basic mathematical understanding. Really basics, not pure mathematics, not calculus, basics. Very, very, very important. Otherwise, you're going to have expectations that cannot be fulfilled. Okay. Right. You can be skilled, but a doctor takes a bit of time, and even they don't make $1 million a minute. You know what I mean? Okay. Right. So yeah, don't join us now. Wait for it to come through. Oh yes, I want to mention something else. Before I do, have you all got it now? Shares, forex, commodities, different. If you use the position size calculator, you get it by going to the live chat on the portal or the website, and you go to tech support and get it for your laptop, not for your phone. You've got to go to the App Store for your phone. If you've got a laptop, have it on your phone as well for mobility. Trying to trade off a phone, well, good luck. It's like having plastic spanners, but that's up to you. You need a laptop to do the job properly. You need the tools, you need the knowledge, and you need basic arithmetic, like I said, and you need some capital. But if you haven't got it all, put it together, but don't have expectations that are unrealistic. If you have a phone to the App Store, if you're dealing in shares, not indices, not commodities, not Forex, you need to go to your LMS, or Sean did before, you can post again for you guys, put on the risk, the Excel spreadsheet risk calculator for shares. It's a different. I cannot use this thing here for shares. It's different. It opens a different time. The volumes are different. It's different. If you're not sure the difference, well, go to CFD class. All the guys coming here should have at least gone to one, preferably 2 or 3 CFD classes, and 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever Forex classes. If you've gone to platform training and doesn't mean anything to you, go again. Still doesn't mean anything to you, go again. If it still doesn't mean anything to you, or start to question. You've got to start questioning, is this for you? You know, I'm not going to be an IT guy. I've had to face up to that, whether it's good money or not. It's not my area of expertise. I leave that to Clinton and company. Okay, get the point. Please, common sense, think. That's the best advice I can give you. That's what people come across at. Okay, so I hope that's covered. Now, go back to my group WhatsApp. If you want to be on my group WhatsApp, a minimum of 2,500 grand. If you're already on, you've got less than that. I'm not taking off at this stage, but that might change. But 2,500 grand balance. Why 2,500 grand? It's the minimum I feel can make use of it. Guys, the smaller sums of money cannot make use of it. You've got, I'll give you an example. Everyone says, because of fear, what's the minimum? Right, if you want to have the minimum, you're going to make the minimum. Plus, it's very limited what you can do. If you've got 500 grand in your account, even if you higher leverage, you can't go in more than 0.01 in one instrument. Now, we had 5 or 6 out yesterday. We had about 5 or 6 the day before. If you have 500 grand, you've got to pick one. So what's the natural thing to do? What do you think is the best? Well, I think they're all the best. I don't know one which is going to be better than the other. I'm not going to say, well, don't go, that one's bloody rubbish. Well, I won't post it. I can't. I don't know. So you've got to pick one. You might pick the wrong one. And you can't pick 2. You can't pick 3. You can't diversify because you haven't got the capital. It's called a capitalist industry. Why don't you go and open up a Pick and Pay? You can't because you don't have the capital. You know, that's why people borrow money in the bank. They need capital. If you haven't got the capital, you're snookered. So if you've got small amounts, you pick one. And I cannot offer value on 500 rand. What can I say? You don't even need a risk calculator. Not sorry, yeah, position size calculator, because you know it's going to be volume 0.01 every time. Now the guys don't know that. They don't know about leverage. They've got a 500 one. They start going in 3 or 4 because the margin is so low, and then they get a margin call because they're overexposed because they haven't got the capital. They're trying to get something for nothing. Something for nothing comes back and bites. Okay. Right, so 2.5 is the basic minimum you can diversify. If you've got 5, 10, 15, 20, plus you know what you're doing. If you've got 100 grand, you know what you're doing. You just lose bigger, but then you can make more use of it. But that's why if you want to be on there, 2.5 grand capital, and you'll get the morning updates, other bits and pieces I post, and of course the trading ideas posted fresh off the press. Right, you say, I've got 800 grand, I want a trade idea. If it's not printed on the MT5, we don't get that many on there. We get far more on my group WhatsApp. Then you can ask. You can say, Roger, you've got to come to me. Sorry about that. I can't be there. I'm not allowed to. Can't advise. What I would like to. Have you got any trade ideas from me? I said, well, I've got a great one. The US dollar, Japanese yen. But it was posted at 9 o'clock this morning, and the guys have got it fresh off the press and be in. Fortunate now, it's 1941.50. The ship has sailed. Sorry about that. You called that time. I can't help you. So you can. WhatsApp a request if there's one available at that moment. I'll post it to you with pleasure. But the ship might have certainly get a lot of those. When you're on the group WhatsApp, you get it fresh off the press. This is very important. If you're boring and you want to go elsewhere, there's so I'm going another broker. You can do. They'll give you the same story. If you've got what I mean, I will certainly with pleasure put you on board. So I'm going to just write my context down, but don't. Please, I beg of you, don't say, oh, well, I've only got 200 rand. Well, I've only got 500 rand. We'll buy that house. Well, you can't. Okay, and when you do, please post your full name and your, preferably, if you can, your real account number. Don't say this is George. George bloody who's? George is a common name, you know what I mean? Who are you? You know, I've had one guy back and forth, oh, who are you? You know what I mean? Common sense. Sorry to get frustrated, but yes. Okay, Roger. And remember WhatsApp, I get a hell of a busy here. So can't spend half an hour one-to-one with somebody unless you've got a millionaire account. Might make a plan then. WhatsApp number 0615293431. Clear, all the guys have got it, don't worry about it, ignore it. Okay, here's another point where we'll take that down. If you get a trade idea to go in the S&P 500 to sell or buy it, and you went in yesterday to sell, don't mean you go in again. You worked out your risk is 500 Rand, and you've probably got your position size right, so you've learned to do that. If you go in again with another one, now you're risking 1,000 Rand. Now you're overexposed. It means if it comes in as another idea and already in, it means you ignore it. If I say suggest modify stop loss and ABC and so and so, it does not mean you enter it as a new trade or close it, which has happened. It means you modify. Or if you don't want to modify, you ignore it. Hope that makes sense. Keely. Hello, Keely. KO, Coca-Cola, in for short, yeah. Not much to do about it now. Yeah, it's gone up a little bit, but not. What are we getting on Coca-Cola before we all get all upset? It's gone up a little bit. 61.45. It's now at where's Coca-Cola? 62.28. So it's up about what? 55 and 30, 73, 70, yeah, about 73 cents, something like that. So it's up a bit. Call it 75 odd cents. It's up a bit. The stop loss is 63. So you might get stopped up. Happens. You're not going to every trade a winner, but you got your stop, got your position sizing, long as not 0.1 again, properly done. And it makes it's hard work for me now. I've phoned the buggers up and say, please, it's wrong. I've got better things to do. It annoys me actually. Than trying to help guys look for new trades. I'm phoning up some guy who's got 0.01 in. I'll be honest, frustrates me. You should know that. That's not my job, actually, in my opinion. It's the job of the person who's training classes, so they don't do that or read the signal. Okay, so KO is slightly up, but hopefully it can come off on opening, and then it might come right there. But the others are looking pretty good, still fine. Majority I've been sending out recently. In fact, this weekend I'm going to take a tabulation of all the ones I sent out in November, and I'll tell you what the result is. But it's looking pretty good. I think it's, I don't know for sure, but it's hovering about 80%, which is pretty good. Okay, good, simple there. This is a good example to set on this. Let's go to the GBP one. GBP USD. You see, it's gone up from there and it's rushed up. You can see how it came off there. Okay, it's been quite a big. Here's a better example here. Okay, I'll ask that question again. It's rushed up there and then it's reached a bit of exhaustion. It's gone sideways. Take a bit of a breather. Take a bit of a breather after such a big run. Unless someone explained a bit better than that. No. Here it's flying, now it's taking a bit of a breather, a bit of exhaustion here. Now it's thinking consolidated. Is it going to move, graduate a bit more up, or is it going to come off a bit, profit taking, or is it waiting for another fundamental or institution to come in with a lot of buyers? Remember, institutions have billion-dollar books, and they might decide I'm going to buy a very, very large amount of the pound, because for whatever reason they come up with, and that will kick it up, and then the other guys, retail guys like ourselves, will follow it. It's not doing anything at the moment, Charmaine. Doing diddly squats, just sitting there. No, it's accumulation means it's up for a bit of exhaustion. Similar. No, it's reaching a bit of exhaustion there after a big move up, and after reaching a bit of exhaustion, it's accumulating before the next move up. So again, so if let's say it was here, and then pretend we can't see these candles, shot up that far and a few sellers came in, I would say I wouldn't be buying it here. It's looking like it's reaching a bit of exhaustion. And it's backed up by the sideways movement in retrospect. Retracing normally means you want to buy it. If you want to buy this one, okay, it's retracing to get a better area or better price to buy to go back in. If you want to sell it, you want to get a better price, it's rallying to a better price to sell it down a bit. If you've got this one, Charmaine, the 200 simple day moving average, the 50, these are filters. This is a neutral zone. Above it's a strong zone, a weak zone below the two. Let's try another example. Here, it's in the weaker zone against NZD, but it's very much accumulation in the range. So there's not much happening there, is there? Well, it's quite a lot, it's about 130 pips. So about 130 pip range. So you could trade that range actually, sell it down and then exit there and maybe buy it back up again. But it's in the sell zone, so probably better to sell the downside and not buy it up again and see if it rallies it back up again to sell it down, see my point. But that is below the two and that's holding. So this is in the sell zone in a range trade. The other one's in what should we call it, neutral zone. Try and find another example. We can find it. Let's give it maybe US dollar yen. Find one there. No, it's a neutral. But if it was, if it in those days, let's go back here. This was in the buy zone, so we pull back to try and buy it up again until we get a break. We say technical damage because it's broken through here. It's not in the buy zone neutral zone. It's had some pullback there. Again, that was a CPI inflationary coming out on Thursday last week or two ago. Pushed it down. Technical damage was done in the neutral zone. Hope that makes sense. Okay, Clinton, good stuff. Follow the trend. They say the trend's your friend until it bends. That's the human cycle. We follow trends. I must clarify this. Not sorry, Charmaine. I must do. I want you all to have it. This is used internationally. It's not me talking. This is not my point of view. At the moment, Charles, it's important. Everybody must have these two. Not because it's anything else or brilliant. It's because it's self-fulfilling, because it's so widely used. Self-fulfilling, because it's widely used. Do you understand? So that's the 50-day simple, 200-day simple. That is my personal choice, the 10-day. I like it. If you like it, put it on. I like those colors. You like it, stick with it. And make it slightly thicker so you can see it clearly. And then save it. Right click, save your templates. Okay? And then write down, in your case, Charmaine, and save it. So you have a problem, you lose your charts, you go to templates, and there you save charts. Okay? So save it for 250 day and apply it to all charts. Remember, this is a day chart, so that's the 50-day. On here, it's a weekly, so that's the 50-week. On here, it's a 1 hour, that's the 51 hour. Don't forget that. Hope that's clear. Good. This is stuff you should be learning in the classes, which I can clarify. Okay, I don't mind clarifying, but it's nice to get a backing. People spend 1,000 rand a month or whatever they spend to get the knowledge, they don't up the books, and they put in 300 rand in their account. What's the sense of that? Would you go and buy 100,000 rands of driving lessons and buy a second-hand 1,000 rand bicycle? Why would you do that? It makes no sense, but that's the way people are. So, you know, if you're paying £1,000 a month, for goodness sake, and then you haven't got enough capital to make use of the products, you've got peanuts in it. Makes no sense. Anyway, use the classes, get those basics, goes in depth on these things in those Zoom classes. And if you can't afford the Zoom classes, you can't afford to get knowledge, you haven't got any capital, rather forget about it, because it ain't going to work for you. You will pay the winner. It's a zero-sum game. The loser pays the winner. And the winner will be quite happy you go and sod all the money because they'll have it off very quickly. So you don't know what you're doing. Okay. And you're learning a bit short, are you? Yeah. Good. That's good to know. Okay. Refreshing. Good stuff. Yeah. It was honest, you know, trying to get through the book. I'm so polite that everyone says, yeah, smiles away, smile away, learn nothing until they go virtually broke. I don't want people on my watch to go starting broke. I want them to make some money. You have to harsh about it. And you've got to know those basic 100%. Quite agree. Platform training. Guys get a platform training and they ask me how to modify the stock. That's not my job. My job is to help you with trades. You should know how to modify your stop, how to close, how to partially close, not totally close. You close your position or partially close it. How to, you know, you've got to know the basics of how to operate the platform. Don't even think you can trade. You can't do that. Okay. What else? So we covered all that. The charts we covered, the position size covered, the volumes. Get those volumes right. Again and again and again and again and again. 85% or more are screwing up because they're not getting the volumes right. Underexposed or over. Remember, share is different to Forex. Different calculator, different volumes. I personally think you should do away from fractional shares. Not for people like Pierre and Zeth and the rest and Sean, but for the newcomers coming in because it just create more problems it solves. Nothing wrong with CFDs, just know the basics is different. Motorbike's different from a motor car. Both are great machines. Better to know both. But don't drive the motorbike like a car. It's different. Yeah, well, you get the idea, Pierre, because you took the trouble. But I mean, that's good. Yeah. Okay. Right. What's the time now? A few minutes left. Any questions? Euro. Sorry about that. There's something there. I want to go to Euro. Something or other. Euro. Forgot what it was now. Bubba's doing all right, Anne-Marie. Bubba's in profit, 80, come off about $5. Ford is hovering, but it should be okay. I forgot, it was a Euro JPY or something. What the hell was it now? Well, brave or not, as long as you, somebody brave enough, now do it. As long as you don't go in, Zeth, and you put in 0.01 Ford stock, then I will tease you big time. Let's have a quick look at the S&P. And then look aghast at you when you try and explain or say, oh, you're wrong. I'm taking my 100 rand to another broker. It's all I could do not to burst out laughing. They're really going to put their share price up. You know what I mean? Seem to be hovering. So much happening there. Eurocat, sorry about that. Yeah. In fact, the people who make the biggest noise in the place, these guys got the least. That guy's kicking up with those servers. They've got inactive accounts. I wish I could say that, Sean. I really do. Save me a lot of hassle. They're wasting not only their time, mine as well. Anyway, Eurocad, where are we? 1.38 round figure. Canadian's a bit iffy at the moment. It's in the buy zone. I clearly get that. But again, talk about what Sean was saying. There's a bit of consolidation, a bit of exhaustion on the euro. And the Canadian, remember, is an oil exporter. And the oil's come off of it. I get that. What's Brent doing? Just a quick check on Brent. Is it going up still? It's going up a little bit. Yeah. So I think it's following the Americans at the moment, Canadians. Been a bit weaker lately. I'm not sure that's going to be sustained. And I think the euro is getting a bit overcooked at the moment. So even though it's a buy zone, I'm expecting might be a bit of a break to the downside. That being said, I ain't touching it. I'm not confident enough at this stage to sell it. We're getting no follow through on the downside. This is still holding, still in the buy zone. The wicks are coming to defend, but I'm not seeing much confidence in the buy zone. Sort of the upside because the wicks again defending. So what's it here? 70 pips is not a big enough range to play with. I can't see a trade here. Thank you, Sean. Yeah, but I've had that. Yeah, I had one guy. I told you put 1 rand in. Trying to get hold of him, can't get hold of him because he might be taking the piss, and I understand. But she never knows. And they look all hurt and you say you can't do anything with it. Oh, but that guy told me I could. Oh, I tell you, Mike, hey, Sean, here's this pill. You can run like the same bolts. You're over 18. I think you might question that. Okay, Anne-Marie, great. So 2 hours, TF. TF, I'm not sure what TF means. We'll look at we'll put the 2 hour out. Where'd I put the 2 hour? I'm going to right click on time or something. We'll put the 2 hour. Where's it now? Time frames. I did put the 2 hour. Forgot. Here we are. 2 hours. Because wait for information coming through because I never use it. Not particular reason why I just don't. There we are then. Yeah, there we are then, Sean. Yeah. But I mean, if he does say that, I mean, for God's sake. It's It's like I went to the hairdressers the other day and I said, please make me look like George Clooney. You know? No problem, mate. Charge me £1,000 later and I still look like me. I'm afraid I agree with you, Sean, but I can't say it. But I feel like saying it. Well, my most difficult is not getting sarky. I like it, Seth. Obviously a YouTuber, yeah. Probably read it on Instagram. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Mark. Hey, it's still there, so shut off. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm giving a quick call, yeah, 10 rand. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll buy 1 million and I'll buy it and I'll give the whole money back within 2 seconds that I borrowed, and then I'll be off in the Bahamas, yeah. Right, where are we now on the tour? Okay. You look for a buy or someone on the tour, eh? It's a bottom of a range on the tour. I'll give you, if you want a scalp, yeah, it could be a backside and a scalp if you want it. What will it give you? You might make 30 pips in a scalp, maybe a 15 pip stop. There you are. Oh, I see what you mean. You read the background. Other stuff to do. I get you. I get your point now. 10 lots, you say. I've seen that. Wonder why I can't get in. Put in 10. 10 is a buy limit or something on the EuroCAD and put in 10. Wonder why it didn't get taken. It's just, there's no excuse for it. You bought a course, you got the classes, and you don't attend them. Well, don't blame us. And it's basic stuff. If it's complicated, I get it. It's scary, actually. It's funny to be sometimes a bit irritating. Okay, we've got to go now. It's 11 o'clock anyway. So thanks, Robert. Thanks for your support, guys. Those who can make it, obviously, at 4 o'clock, I'll catch you then and see how the trades work out, or one of them, the others, and see if we can see what happens to CFDs and see if we can find some new ones. Some funding will be out by then, so we'll have something to work with. Thanks, guys. See you. Cheers. Thanks, Ed. Thanks. Cheers.